We are live here on the Chiefs Report by Chat Sports. I am Harrison Graham. Welcome in, everybody. Appreciate you guys for tuning in to today's live show. We got producer Trizzy Trace. I almost call him Trizzy Chase because he works with Chase so much these days. But Trizzy Trace back in the house. A round of applause to Trace Gerard. You guys will hear and see him from time to time as well. We'll start as we always do. Shout out your city. Let us know where you guys are watching from as we get this party started here. Found out last night who the Jags will be facing that the Chiefs will be facing the Jags in the divisional round. So let's get this thing going here. Shout out your city. We got Tony in Dallas, Rick in San Antonio, Arrowhead Rally in Gardner. We got Scotty in Largo, Florida, Matthias in California. Let's go. What's up, Arrowhead Rally? We got Kurt in Chicago, Marcus in Kansas City, Missouri. We got, Marcus Davenport, Saints legend, Marcus Davenport. Andreas Rivera in Colorado Springs. Tex Ass Tickler in Barrow, Alaska. That's quite the name. We got Prince in Arizona, Kevin in Pittsburgh, Kansas. What's up from Japan? What's up, Tom? We got Tony in Sitka. Tylene in Columbia, Jacob Kelso in Miami. Let's see, Tristan in Walnut Ridge, Arkansas. You know where Walnut Ridge is, Trace?
Unfortunately, I cannot say that I do.
That must not be near the Harvard of Arkansas.
It is not, from what I understand, it is not in northwest Arkansas where the Harvard of the South is at.
Pirate in Toledo. We got John in Hutchinson. Wolfman in Willow Springs, Missouri. Michael in Springfield. We got Dittus in Lee Summit. What's up, Liz? Thanks for tuning in. Palmer Lake, Colorado, from Jeremiah, over 7,200 feet. That's decent elevation. It's not crazy high, but that's pretty far up there, I would say. All right, who you guys got this weekend? Chiefs, Jags. The stage is set. Top 4 seeds in the AFC still alive. Kansas City hosting Jacksonville. Buffalo hosting Cincinnati. KC for the Chiefs. JAC for the Jaguars. Tony says Chiefs. Jeremiah says Chiefs. So does Oliver, Scotty, Marcus, Wally, Pirate Productions. Is anybody picking Jacksonville? Kevin's not. Bump is not. We got Michael. Oh, Texas Tickler is going with the Jags. Oh, no. Rick says Baltimore. Yeah, they lost last night. They're done. Tony, Kurt, Jay Schultz in Berlin. We got Wally in Kansas City. You guys are all over the place. By the way, Tylene says, what quarter did you leave the TCU game? I stayed throughout, man. Listen, how often are you going to get to watch your team in a national championship? I'm not leaving early. Did I accept the loss early? Absolutely. But was I going to leave early? No chance. That was a tough one, but it was still a fun trip. Jay Schultz, Dennis, Chase, Francisco, all right with the Chiefs. My Vikes D is pathetic. It is. That Vikings defense is what the kids call cheeks nowadays. All right, today's live show is sponsored by our good pals Rocket Money. And listen, if you want to save money and cut back on your spending, Rocket Money is going to help you do that. Go download the app, rocketmoney.com/ChiefsChat. Recently, about 6 weeks ago now, once I started with Rocket Money, I found out I'm still paying for freaking Xbox Live, something I haven't paid for or haven't played in over 2 years at this point. So, Rocket Money, I was able to cancel that subscription with the single click of a button, as this app will show you all of your subscriptions in one place and then cancel for you whatever you don't still want. Rocket Money can even find subscriptions that you didn't know that you were even paying for. You may even find out you've been double charged for a subscription. To cancel a subscription, all you have to do is press cancel, and Rocket Money will take care of the rest. So get rid of useless subscriptions today with Rocket Money, formerly known as Truebill. It's rocketmoney.com/ChiefsChat. rocketmoney.com/ChiefsChat. Seriously, it could save you up to hundreds of dollars per year. It is rocketmoney.com/ChiefsChat. One more time, rocketmoney.com/ChiefsChat. All right, here's an interesting question. Will Eric Bieniemy be back in Kansas City next season? Type Y for yes, type in for no. Will EB be back next season? Y for yes, in for no. Tony Fuentes says no. Wally says no. Michael, Jeff say no. Wally, Matt Solomon, all no's so far. Wow. What do you guys think? Marcus says no. Pirate says no. yes, but hope he gets a chance elsewhere from Arrowhead. Pamtree says no. Scotty and Marcus say yes. Liz Bastic says yes. I don't even want him back, moving Matt Nagy to OC. Be careful what you wish for, guys.
Harrison, what do you know who might need an offensive coordinator and who has ties to a team that needs an offensive coordinator? Eric Bieniemy and the Saints.
Hey.
He's a New Orleans guy from Louisiana. Had an 8-hour interview with him last year.
Did they fire Carmichael? Not yet.
Not yet.
Do you think they will?
Well, the only thing that they've said is there's no changes around Dennis Allen. So Pete Carmichael's got to frickin' go.
We'll see. We will see what the Saints do.
I think Eric Bieniemy and Cliff Kingsbury, top 2 offensive coordinator.
Sounds like Cliff's hanging out in Thailand for the next year. Who knows? Tony and Liz say yes. Duval says yes. Don't think so from Moises. Someone says Cliff Kingsbury to CBS, Eric Bieniemy to PBS. I mean, look, I've been harsh on Bieniemy at times as well. The Chiefs did have the number 1 offense this year. Like, we can't just completely dismiss him as a coach, but I do understand what you guys are saying. KC to the Super Bowl. We'll see, Scotty. We will see. All right, who wins tonight? Monday Night Football, final playoff game of Wild Card Weekend. Type DAL for the Dallas Cowboys, TB for the Buccaneers. Trace, I know you're conflicted because you can't stand Tom Brady and the Bucs, but you also can't stand the Cowboys. So who you got tonight?
It's always F Dallas, man. It's always F Dallas. F the Cowboys. F those frauds. They're not even a real team. They haven't done anything relevant in my lifetime. So until they do, it's going to be F Dallas.
What do you guys think? Jalen says Tampa Bay. Tony Fuentes and Tony Smith say Dallas. Corrupt says Dallas. Scotty says Tampa. Tampa from Wally. Corrupt says Dallas. Scotty, Dallas. Bumpa going with Tampa Bay. Jeremiah going with Tampa Bay. It seems pretty split in the chat. Pamtra and Wally going with the Bucs. Maybe it's 60-40 Bucs. Arrowhead Rally says Tampa Bay. Brady got a win despite Giselle. Tony says, I got a new TV. That's awesome, Tony. I hope you are watching us in 4K here. A. Martin says, Dak, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, there is a lot of pressure on Dak Prescott and Mike McCarthy tonight. That is for sure.
That's one thing that is also something that people aren't talking about. It feels like the Cowboys have nothing but pressure, whereas the Bucs, it's like, realistically, no team from the NFC South should be in the playoffs.
And it's also, if you're the Bucs, it's like Brady already got us a Super Bowl. If you're Brady, you're like, I already have 7 rings. Like, you're 8-9. Like, you could just play free. If you lose, well, it was just a disappointing season.
Exactly.
So, see what happens. 2 mailbags today, hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat to get your questions in. And $50 Super Chats you can get on the Chiefs Flag Club. We've got a few members. Get your name on there. Every 50 additional dollars is a tally as well. Like Elizabeth Reid's got a ton of tallies. Dub Freak's got some tallies. So we'll get you on there. Also, Trizzy Trey said for a $50 Super Chat, he'll do a beer bong as well. I'll even do one with him. We'll beer bong race. $50. We'll make it happen. Scott says 50 for Boot Hall of Fame. I'll tell you what, Scott. If you send in 50 and you want to hop on a boot instead of the Chiefs flag, we'll get a boot and you can be the first member of it. I'll make that deal, Scotty. I think we have some extra boots in there. If not, we'll get one. So $50, we'll get your name on a boot ASAP. So if you want to make that happen, go ahead and do so. All right, if you're ready for the real show to start, go ahead and like this video. Hit the like button, and we'll get you caught up on the latest Chiefs news and rumors. Plus, we will answer all of your questions as well. So use hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat to get your questions on the show. K-Chapel, Trizzy Trace, what's up, Harrison? What's up, K-Chap? If you guys have questions, hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat. We will make this thing happen. All right, here we go. A lot of stuff to get to here on today's show. Let's go ahead and jump on in. What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? It's that time of year. The NFL playoffs are here. Wild Card Weekend is in the books outside of Cowboys-Bucks tonight, but the AFC is set. We got the Chiefs and the Jaguars next Saturday at 4:30 Eastern. Welcome into the Chiefs Report. I am Harrison Graham, and Jacksonville going to travel to Arrowhead for the second time this year. I was a little drowsy last night when I did my Chiefs-Jags preview and initially said that they had not played this year. I totally forgot they did, and the Chiefs won that one 27-17, led that game 20-0. So it will be the second time these two teams have met this season, and the second time they've played at Arrowhead as well. The early odds in this one for Saturday's contest: Chiefs 9.5-point favorites. The total over/under is 52 points. So Vegas is basically saying, okay, it's going to be a 30-21, 31-22 type of game. That's basically what our friends in Vegas are saying right now. Let me say this. Do not sleep on the Jacksonville Jaguars, and there's a couple of reasons why. Number one, they're playing with house money. They rallied to make the playoffs. They're ahead of schedule in Trevor Lawrence's second season. And they rally back from 27-0 down, the third largest playoff comeback in history, to beat the Chargers. Like, they legitimately are not supposed to be here at this point. So when you face a team like that, they typically play a lot more freer and a lot more looser than a team with high expectations. So do not discount what the Jags can do in this game because they're playing with house money. The Chiefs have way more to lose as the expected team to win this game, as the team that's looking for a fifth straight AFC championship, as the team that's got the best odds to win the Super Bowl among the teams remaining in the playoffs. So do not sleep on Jacksonville because you fall asleep, you'll get beat this Saturday afternoon. Now predict the score of Chiefs versus Jaguars here on Sunday. Let me know who's going to win and what the final score is going to be. Get your score predictions going down in the comments. Now, like I said, these two teams did play earlier this year. It was pretty standard one side. Chiefs kind of did their classic, we're up 20-0, and then we'll kind of fart around to a 10-point win. But they were solid. Mahomes threw for 330 and 4 touchdowns. Pacheco had a solid game. Travis Kelce led the way receiving as well. Trevor Lawrence was good, 259 and 2 touchdowns, and he and that offense are very capable. Lawrence and the Jags can score. We saw that on Saturday. I mean, they were down 27-0 late in the first half, got that late touchdown, and ended up scoring 31 points on a Chargers defense that had been playing much better down the stretch. And by the way, they did that. They scored 31 points in a game where they had 5 turnovers. So that's pretty darn impressive. I will say this for Jacksonville. If you turn it over 5 times to the Chiefs on the road, you ain't coming back. I'll tell you that right freaking now. But again, if you're Kansas City, got to stay locked in. Doesn't matter that you're the big favorites. You got to assume you got to play your best to win this game. And if the Chiefs play a B+ or better game, they should be just fine. Now, speaking of this matchup, we will be live on Saturday for a Chiefs-Jags watch party. Kickoff's at 4:30 Eastern, but we're going to go live for an hour pregame show. 3:30 Eastern time, 2:30 Central. We'll answer your questions. We'll get the super chats going, and we'll get you everything you need to know about this matchup as well. So go ahead and join us this Saturday. Should be a fun game for the first Chiefs playoff game of the year. All right, let's get back to the coaching carousel. Could Eric Bieniemy or Matt Nagy end up as the Titans' offensive coordinator? Now, report out there that Tennessee has requested to interview both Eric Bieniemy and Matt Nagy for the vacant offensive coordinator job. Jeremy Fowler had the tweet here saying Tennessee has requested permission to interview Chiefs OC Eric Bieniemy and senior assistant and quarterbacks coach Matt Nagy for their open offensive coordinator job. Now, obviously on the surface you're saying, well, why would Bieniemy do that? That's not a upward move. That's maybe not it's a backwards move, but it's a level move. You're not getting a better job title, which is why Kansas City could block the Bieniemy request if they want to. Now, if it was a head coach interview opportunity, they could not block that. But there's a chance that Bieniemy does leave, and it's not for a head coaching job. I'll explain why that's possible here in just a moment. But first, I do want to tell you guys about our awesome sponsor, Rocket Money, and they're already saving me hundreds of dollars in just the last couple of months since I got going with them in December. They can do the same for you. Cut back on your spending. RocketMoney.com/ChiefsChat. Are you wasting money on subscriptions? 80% of people have subscriptions that they have forgotten about. Maybe for you, it's an unused Amazon Prime account or a Hulu account that never gets streamed. This great app that I use, it keeps me track of all my expenses. It's called Rocket Money, formerly known as Truebill. I no longer waste money on subscriptions that I wasn't using before. This app will show you all of your subscriptions subscriptions in one place and then cancel for you, whichever ones you don't still want. Rocket Money can even find subscriptions you didn't know that you were paying for. You may even find out that you have been double charged for a subscription. To cancel a subscription, all you have to do is press cancel, and Rocket Money will take care of the rest. So get rid of useless subscriptions today with Rocket Money, formerly known as Truebill. Go to rocketmoney.com/ChiefsChat. It's rocketmoney.com/ChiefsChat. Stay on top of your finances. Cancel any subscriptions you no longer want. It's rocketmoney.com/ChiefsChat. Now, you know what Eric Bieniemy story is at this point. He's interviewed for a bunch of jobs, but you can't deny that he's been, I would say, overall a clear net positive for this team. I mean, look at what they did offensively this year after trading Tyreek Hill. First in points per game, first in yards per game, first in passing yards per game, second in third down conversions at just under 50%, second in red zone touchdown conversions. Like, Eric Bieniemy is a big part of this offense's success. I think there's no doubt about it. Now, here's my take. He is interviewed for half of the league's teams at this point, 16 head coach interview opportunities, hasn't gotten a head coaching job. So maybe at this point in time, Eric Bieniemy has to call plays elsewhere before getting a head coaching opportunity. Now, again, the Chiefs could block Bieniemy's interview request for an offensive coordinator position. But I think Andy Reid, if Eric Bieniemy went to him and said, hey, man, listen, I think I need to take this interview, and if they offer me the play calling gig, I may have to consider it because for whatever reason I can't get a head coaching opportunity here. Maybe I have to prove it elsewhere with less talent that I can be a high-level play caller before getting a head coach. I think Andy Reid would allow that interview to happen because he has a lot of respect for Eric Bieniemy. Now, as far as Matt Nagy goes, I think he returns next year because, one, if Bieniemy leaves, natural progression, he would become the offensive coordinator once again. And plus, number two, I just don't think he's going to jump back into being a play caller elsewhere next year. I think he'll stay with the Chiefs for at least another season. Plus, I think at the back of his mind, he's thinking, hey, if I stay here for a few years, put in my time, and Andy Reid retires, I could get a second chance as a head coach. And what better opportunity would that be than with Kansas City? I think there's some of that going on in the back of Matt Nagy's mind as well. So I think he returns next year. We'll have to wait and see, though. Now, for Eric Bieniemy, what do you guys think? Will he be back in Kansas City next season? Type Y for yes, he will return, or type N for no, he's going to move on. You kind of get the feeling that at some point he's probably going to have to move on. Maybe that time is now. Y for yes, N for no. Is he going to return next season? Now let's talk about Andy Reid and the Chiefs coming off a bye week in Reid's coaching career, both with Philadelphia and Kansas City. Andy Reid, Big Red, has an 87.1% win rate when coming off of a bye. And, of course, Chiefs are coming off a bye as they did not play during Wild Card Weekend. Those statistics, by the way, include the playoffs. Like when he has a first-round bye, he wins 87% of the time, including playoffs. And Andy Reid, offered a bit of an explanation to why his teams have had success coming off bye weeks. He says, look, we've got to make sure that we keep on top of the scheme stuff. We'll see how all of that works. But, yeah, I'll tell you that's the trick to it is keep the balance to where the players stay sharp and coaches still add a couple of things into the guys into their mix and go from there. So I think the main takeaway is look, there's always been these theories of, bye week, you lose momentum. Well, good teams use off weeks to their advantage. Teams get healthy. They add more wrinkles to play calling opportunities. It's extra time to game plan. Like this whole idea that having an extra week to prepare is some momentum killer. Like, sure, I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but you can't think of things like that. Like the off week should be a positive, not a negative. And I think that's how Andy Reid has approached it, and that's why he's had a lot of success. Because I think you give a high-level X's and O's coach like Andy Reid an extra week to prepare, that's trouble for opposing teams. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, Doug Peterson knows Andy Reid very well. Jacksonville does have some momentum, so we'll see how that plays into the fold. But if the Chiefs play well and start fast, I don't think the Jags are going to be able to win this game. Now, how confident are you for Saturday's game against Jacksonville? Scale it from 1 to 10. 1 being not at all, you think they're going to lose. 10 being very confident, no doubt in your mind that they're going to win. I'm like an 8.8. I'm very confident. Nothing's guaranteed. Jags are not a team to sleep on, like I mentioned earlier, but I will go 8.8. What say you? Let me know down in the comments. All right, and be sure to subscribe because we'll have videos every single day leading up to Saturday's game. Again, we'll be live 2:30 Central Time on Saturday with an hour pregame show with kickoff at 3:30 Central, so be sure to join us for that and check out all of our videos throughout the week. All right, what are the people saying? What are the people saying?
You got somebody in the chat saying Brock Purdy's better than Patrick Mahomes and George Kittle's better than Travis Kelce. What are your thoughts?
Chase Sr. in the chat?
No, Chase Sr. unfortunately is not in the chat.
Obviously, I don't even need to answer the Purdy one. Purdy's a nice story. He's playing well. No one would take him over Mahomes. George Kittle, while I would still take Kelce, Kittle's a better blocker. I've always said that. I think Kelce, just with how dynamic he is as a receiver, I would take him, especially on this Chiefs team for how they're built. But, there's some argument with Kittle, but I still think Kelce's the better option. Bump says 7, T Green says 10, Corrupt says 8, Reeves says 9, Tony says 5. Someone says Mike Glennon greater than Purdy. I wouldn't go that far. Tony Fuentes says 5. Kelce way better for the Chiefs. Yeah, I mean, his receiving ability for this team, and when Patrick Mahomes keeps plays alive, he fits what this team does much better. Joe Fazio says 7. B-Dub says 7. Oliver says 8. Mahomes going to babysit Purdy. Maybe. Could be a Mahomes-Purdy Super Bowl. I'll have to wait and see. You got to get there first. All right, 2 mailbags today, so load up your questions by using #Chiefs or by Super Chatting to get your questions on the show. It is #Chiefs or Super Chat. And Trizzy Trace saying, we need more questions. And get the Super Chats flowing. We'll have some fun here if you guys feel like donating. So #Chiefs or Super Chat. Trace wants to know, where's Queen Elizabeth at?
Elizabeth! Where are you?
Trace misses Elizabeth Reid. Haven't seen her recently, so hopefully she's here Saturday for the game. #Chiefs or Super Chat. Load up those questions, and we will get this mailbag going.
You could suggest draft targets. You could suggest
trades,
people you want
free
to
agency.
trade for. Exactly. Eric Bieniemy destinations.
Questions about the playoffs.
Anything. #Chiefs. Ask a question. We'll get you on the show.
You can ask Trace about his updated dating life.
Kylie
no longer in the picture.
My list 5 logo of top 5 dates of the month.
We should get that bill. If we do a watch party, if you're I know you're not with me this weekend for AFC Championship. I think we got to get the Trace dating Super Chat menu going.
Oh, for sure.
I think that's a prank call Kylie on the show. So Trace and Kylie no longer an item. I think we got to prank call Kylie. I think we got to make that.
Yes.
Kay Chappell says, what happened to Kylie? Well, find out during AFC Championship game. Let's go. Let's get it going. All right, #Chiefs or Super Chat. We've gotten some questions in there, so we'll answer as many as we can. We're having fun here at the Chiefs Report. Well, welcome back to Trizzy Trace. I miss Trizzy Trace on
I've missed being
Mondays.
on the Chiefs Report.
Yeah,
this was like my OG live show.
Yeah,
this is fun for me. I enjoy being back.
Yeah, Trace is back. We're getting it going. So here we go. Mailbag time coming up here on the Chiefs Report. Welcome into the Chiefs Report by Chat Sports. I am your host, Harrison Graham. And on today's show, it's a mailbag. So submit your questions, #Chiefs or Super Chat, and we will get to as many of your questions as we possibly can. #Chiefs, Super Chat, and load them up right now here on the Chiefs Report. From Dale Webb Jr., name a defensive player that you think the Chiefs should sign or trade for this offseason. So I think a guy that I would be interested in if the price is right. I like Marcus Davenport, even though he had a bit of a down year. I think he's a pass rusher that Kansas City could look at. A guy to trade for. I mean, there's Jalen Ramsey buzz. He had that post on Instagram. Well, if this is how I went out with a bang. So maybe he gets traded from the Rams if they want to get some draft compensation back. So, those are a couple of names that just come to mind instantly, but we'll have to wait and see. From Ryan, thanks for going live. I struggle with depression, but seeing your videos, and when you go live, make my day. Go Chiefs. Ryan, I don't take comments like that lightly. If the way I view this job is kind of simple. I mean, obviously there is a business element to it, and it does put food on the table. But if I make 1-2 people crack a smile, laugh, something like that, I feel like it's all worth it. So Ryan, appreciate the kind words, and I'm always here at HGramNFL. Hit me up if anything ever pops up. Shout out to Arrowhead Rally as well for the $1 super chat. If you super chat, even if you don't have a question, we'll get you on the show. Speaking of Arrowhead Rally, he's got a question. If McCole Hardman plays, do you think he will be on a limited snap count? It's hard to say. I mean, he hasn't played since week 9, so, I mean, we're talking about a couple of months here. I like McCole Hardman. I think he's a guy that can make a big-time play or two in a playoff game. We know how explosive he is with his speed. I will say this. He's never really been an every-down player anyway, so, yeah, I mean, he'd probably play 50, 60% of snaps, but could he be on a strict snap count because of the injury he's been recovering from? Potentially. That's definitely possible. From Corrupt C3, if we win against the Jags, who would you want to go against, the Bills or Bengals? I mean, look, selfishly for home field reasons, you'd rather play Cincinnati at home, but you could also argue that you've matched up better with Buffalo. I mean, this team since last season is 0-3 against the Bengals. 0-2 last year, regular season and playoffs, lost this year. So we'll see. I don't think you can worry about who you would want to play. It's going to be a tough game. I mean, the top 3 teams especially, can't sleep on the Jags, of course, but Chiefs, Bills, Bengals, there's not much that separates these teams. I mean, they're very good. It's going to come down to the little things. Obviously, if they play the Bills, it'll be in Atlanta for that neutral site location, but, it's going to be a tough game regardless. So I would maybe lean Bengals, even though they've had less success against them, but it's very minute. Very, very minute. From Ari Gold, great character. Should the Chiefs sign Michael Thomas if the Saints release him? This is actually an interesting idea, and one I could probably get behind because, I mean, listen, you look at Michael Thomas. He has not played much at all in the last 3 years, 10 games in 3 seasons. I think the Saints will try to trade him. I don't think they're going to get much for him, and if they don't, I think signing him is something I would definitely be interested in. This would be classic Chiefs, right? Like, let Juju walk, sign Michael Thomas. Expectations aren't that high that he has 1,000 yards. I mean, that would be classic Kansas City. So, yeah, if he's available to sign in free agency, 1-year incentive type of deal, I would absolutely be interested in Michael Thomas. Now, would you sign Michael Thomas? Type S for sign, P for pass. And let me be clear, I would not trade for him in his contract, but if he hits free agency, yeah, I would sign Michael Thomas. So, let me know what you guys think. Subscribe to the channel as we are trying to get to 35,500 subscribers. Just crossed 35K. Appreciate all the support helping us get there. Now let's get to 35.5 and then 36. Let's make it happen here on the Chiefs Report. So hit that subscribe button. We're going to have you covered here on this channel. Dale Webb Jr. What would it cost to trade for Chandler Jones of the Raiders? Well, number one, Dale Webb, it probably wouldn't happen to begin with just because it's an interdivision trade. But just hypothetically, I don't know, second, third round pick. Chandler Jones came on strong late in the year but didn't have his best year. He's getting a little bit older, so maybe a third round pick, hypothetically. But again, I don't think Vegas would trade him within the division. From Dennis Weisner, keep Spags or get a new DC? Could depend on how the playoffs go. I mean, if Jacksonville has their way and puts up a lot of points, win or lose, and then say they lose, Kansas City lost to either Buffalo or Cincinnati in the defense struggle, I could see a change. If the Chiefs get to at least the Super Bowl, then they probably won't make a change. And if the defense plays well, they definitely won't. I thought the defense played better down the stretch of the year. Yeah, I mean, I don't think Spags is on the hot seat, but the defense really struggles in the postseason. I could see a change potentially happen. Today's show is sponsored by LinkedIn Talent Solutions, and what LinkedIn does is they'll allow you to post your job posting for free, which will give you the best chance to hire the best candidates. These days, every new potential hire can feel like a high-stakes wager for your small business. You want to be 100% certain that you have access to the best qualified candidates available. That's why you got to check out LinkedIn Jobs. That's where we found Trace Gerard, our producer, Trizzy Trace. He found us through LinkedIn. Boom, interviewed him. We knew it was a perfect fit, and it has played out that way. So what LinkedIn Jobs allows you to do, like I said, is post that job for free, and it gives you simple tools like screening questions, which make it easy to focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience so you can quickly prioritize who you'd like to interview and hire. It's why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs #1 in delivering quality hires versus leading competitors. LinkedIn Jobs will help you find qualified candidates that you want to talk to faster. So post your job for free. It's linkedin.com/NFL Daily. LinkedIn.com/NFL Daily to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. That link will be in the description of this video. It's linkedin.com/NFL Daily. All right, Tony Fuentes with a question: will everyone be healthy Saturday? So 3 guys we've talked about. McCole Hardman, Sky Moore, Frank Clark, depending on when you're watching this. They were the ones who were nicked up during the bye week last week. We'll see what their statuses are. I feel pretty good about their chances. I think Frank Clark is the one to watch because he got banged up in that Raiders game. Tylene, what position is a bigger need, defensive end or corner? You know, early in the year I would have said defensive end, but I don't know now. I mean, George Karlaftis has really come on. Mike Danos played really well. I still would probably lean defensive end, but I wouldn't rule out the possibility of signing a vet corner. I mean, you're rolling with these young rookie corners, Trent McDuffie. L'Jarius Sneed's a third-round guy, but Jalen Watson, Josh Williams have kind of been alternating. Sounds like Watson has regained his starting job. So if the rookie corners struggle in the playoffs, I could see them adding a vet in the offseason. From Moldy and Bread, Kittle greater than Kelce. I disagree. Kittle's great. Kelce's special, historic. So I would take Travis Kelce. Pick one for us, Kelce or Kittle. Who you rolling with? Just say Kelce or Kittle in the chat. Outside of Moldy, I expect a bunch of Kelce comments in the comments section. So curious to see where the kingdom lands. Got to defend our guy, Travis Kelce. K. Chappell, do you think we will run the ball more this weekend against the Jags? I could see it. Pacheco ran the ball pretty well against Jacksonville in Week 10. I think he had 82 yards. He did fumble, but he was getting like 5 yards a carry. So I could definitely see that. Obviously, Jarrett McKinnon, more so as a receiver, but some as a runner, has had a big role as of late. So, yeah, I mean, ideally you always want to have some balance. Will this team be a run-first team? No, but I could see a little bit more of the running game here. Joe Fazio, will CEH be back for the playoffs, or is he done? I haven't heard much there, Joe. So even if he were to get healthy and activated, I mean, he's RB3 at best at this point. Pacheco and McKinnon's your 1-2 punch. Ronald Jones is an occasional guy that can get some snaps, is fine. Maybe he's better than Rojo, I don't know, but I don't see him, surpassing McKinnon or Pacheco at this point. From Tom, if Bieniemy takes an OC job, do we still get a comp draft pick? # Chiefs. I don't think so. I think he would have to get a head coaching job. I can double check, but I think it would have to be for a head coaching job. From the Nathaniel Wheelock, who do you want to play in the Super Bowl, Philadelphia or the 49ers? I'd rather play the Eagles. I know that sounds a little crazy just because Jalen Hurts, played pretty much the whole year and was an MVP candidate for a while and, is probably a better quarterback than Brock Purdy right now. But 49ers are just a better complete team. The defense is better. Their weapons, you could argue, are just as scary. I know the Eagles have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, but the Niners have Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, and Brandon Ayuk. I mean, you're going to face good weapons regardless. Christian McCaffrey's been a game changer. He's better than Miles Sanders. And, yeah, I think the big difference is the defense, too. I know the Chiefs scored 40-plus on San Francisco this season, but since that game, San Francisco's won, 11 in a row now? So I don't know. I think I'd rather take my chances with Philadelphia than San Francisco. All right, let us know in the comments, how many Chiefs games have you been to in your life? Curious to see what the kingdom has to say. And if the answer is 0, that's all right. 0 works too. That's just you being honest. Let me know how many games that you have been to. And be sure to subscribe to the Chiefs Report because it's that time of year, man. Playoffs, Chiefs, you're in this golden era of Chiefs Kingdom fandom right now. Don't take advantage of it. Don't what's the word I'm looking for? Don't take it for granted because this is a rare time for any fan base to be on a run like this. So hopefully they win, get to another AFC Championship game, and then have a chance at a Super Bowl very, very soon. All right, how many Chiefs games? Oliver says 1, Schiefer says 1, Bump says 3, Reeves says 0, Tony says 5, Preston says 0, Kate Chap says 2. I don't know a bunch from Tony. Smith. Paul says 8. Someone says 15 with 1 away game. I feel like if you're saying 15, that's a lot to remember the exact number. After you get beyond 5, I'd be like, I don't know, TCU games, me, I don't know, a bunch. Like, I don't know how many. Arkansas games for Trizzy, a bunch.
A bunch that I was, or how many that I was sober for? A lot less.
Oh, man. What would you say? Were you sober for any Arkansas games in college? 100% sober.
I can say if
One?
I can count them on one hand.
Okay.
I can count them on one hand.
Trace has a good time.
Actually, no. Football games, no. But basketball games, yeah.
Different vibe.
Yeah.
Different vibe. You drink after the basketball.
You go crazy at the Harvard of Arkansas. It's
Hey,
what you got to do.
Listen, it's the Harvard of the South. That's what they call it. All right, one more mailbag here. Hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat. Trey says he's got some good questions loaded up, so if you want to guarantee yourself to get in there, go ahead and Super Chat. Hashtag Chiefs the other way to get in there as well. We'll get to this mailbag, and then we will call it quits here on the Chiefs report. So, first game against the Oilers. That's pretty cool. All right, someone says if you have season tickets, that's a good point. They probably track it for you, how many games you've been to, Joe. I gotcha. All right, here we go. It is mailbag time. Let's jump on into today's show. Before we jump into this Chiefs mailbag where we will take all of your questions, be sure to subscribe to the channel. We provide the latest Chiefs news, rumors, analysis, game content, pregame, postgame shows, live watch parties. We cover it all here on the Chiefs Report. Mailbag videos like this one coming up, so go ahead and subscribe, and we'll jump on into this mailbag. I am Harrison Graham, and you are watching the Chiefs Report by Chat Sports. Mailbag time, so load up your questions here on the Chiefs Report. From Lake G, would you trade for Jalen Ramsey? And if so, what would the trade offer look like? You know, he played better down the stretch this year, but this was definitely not the best year of his career. I don't think you'd have to give up a first for him. I think you could get him for a second. Obviously, he has a decent amount left on his contract, but very curious to see what happens with him and that Rams football team as a whole. Obviously, McVay's coming back, but do they keep the gang together? Does a guy like Ramsey get traded or cut? We'll see. From Luke Ross, they should sign Lamar for Mahomes' backup. That's pretty funny, Luke. Sign Lamar Jackson to back up Mahomes. Well, number one, Baltimore's not letting him become a free agent. They're going to franchise tag him. They might trade him on the tag, but they are not going to let him walk. Sure, I mean, if he wants to come make $5 million a year as Mahomes' backup, let's do it. But I think you and I both know that's not going to happen. Some team's going to pay him $45 million a year. Papa BB, thoughts on a potential Hopkins trade? Certainly talked about DeAndre Hopkins a lot last week here on the show. Rumors have been flying. I do expect him to get traded from Arizona. Do I think Brett Veach could have interest? I do think he could. I do think he'd have a price limit, though, not only for a potential trade, but also for how much he'd pay him on a potential new deal, because this is a GM that wasn't going to pay Tyreek Hill $30 million. He capped that at $25. I don't think he'd give Hopkins more than $25, so we'll see. I'd be open to it, but just know that Brett Veach, he's not going to overpay at that position at this point. From Milky, would you be nervous if Sean Payton went to the Broncos or Chargers? I don't know if nervous is the right word, but you definitely would have to factor in that. Now, the latest reports, as we film this Monday, are that the Chargers are leaning toward keeping Brandon Staley, so keep Brandon, and let's go, Brandon. Keep him in L.A. I would much rather face Brandon Staley than Sean Payton, but, if he ends up in Denver or L.A., that's obviously a team that you got to factor for more, because Sean Payton's got a lot of winning under his belt, and he has a Super Bowl as well. Now, where will Sean Payton coach in 2023? Predict it for us in the comments. I keep having this weird feeling that Arizona is where he's going to end up. I don't know why I think that. I think it's because they don't have a GM yet, and they might give him player personnel duties. I don't know, but curious to see what you guys think, because it's going to be an interesting offseason for Sean Payton. Dale Webb Jr., if Matt Nagy and Eric Bieniemy leave, who do they sign as an OC? It's a good question. I wish they could get Mike Kafka back, but he might be a head coach soon. He's doing a great job with the Giants. If they both were to leave, you know who I really like? I don't know if systematically it works. I like Georgia offensive coordinator Todd Monken. He's called plays in the NFL before. He's getting some interest there again. He's someone I would be interested in. I'd love Cliff Kingsbury, coach Patrick Mahomes in college, but he's in Thailand hanging out. So I don't know what would happen if both would leave, which is why I don't think both will leave. Like, if one leaves, the other one's the OC, vice versa. Like, if Bieniemy leaves for a head coaching job or to be the Titans OC or whatever, Nagy just gets promoted. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. But I don't know. I'd have to think of some names because it's possible that the Chiefs need a new OC. Today's Chiefs Report is sponsored by Geology. And let me tell you about Geology, as they are a 16-time award-winning skin, hair, and body care company recognized in Men's Health, GQ, and Esquire. Geology creates simple and effective skincare and hair care routines customized just for you with ingredients that are proven to work. Right now, for a limited time, they are hooking you up with an absolutely insane offer. Use my code ChatSports70 at chatsports.com/geology and use the QR code on screen that we have been cycling through, and they will give you an exclusive 70% off of their award-winning skincare trial set. The Under Eyes helps you fight acne, reduce oiliness, prevent wrinkles, and gives you smoother, hydrated skin. I've been using Geology's face wash in the mornings, their Dark Plus Puffy Under Eye Cream, and the Retinol Night Cream before going to bed, and my skin is looking and feeling great. And in the shower, Geology body washes smell great, are free of harsh ingredients, and are refillable. So go to chatsports.com/geology or scan the QR code that you see on your screen and use my code ChatSports70. Link is in the description and comments of today's video. On top of 70% off, guess what? You'll receive an exclusive bonus offer on one of their brand new skin, hair, and body products of your choice when you add it to your trial. This is one of the best offers you see. Get it before it's gone. It's chatsports.com/geology. Promo code ChatSports70 for 70% off. Let's go to Wally here. If we fall short in the AFC again, should we trade for DeAndre Hopkins, DK Metcalf, or a superstar on defense like Jalen Ramsey? The juicy questions today. You love to see it. I mean, it depends how you lose, right? Like, if you score 34 points, I don't think the offense is the problem. Obviously, we've talked about it. Juju's a free agent. McCole Hardman's a free agent, so it's possible you need a receiver. But, you know, if your corners really struggle, maybe getting a vet corner like a Jalen Ramsey could help. Maybe getting another pass rusher is needed. So let's see what happens first, Wally, and then we'll explore what this team could possibly need. Tristan Judd, Derrick Henry to the Chiefs' his contract is up. Listen, this mailbag is loaded. But Derrick Henry would be fun as hell here, especially, like, the only problem is if you sign Derrick Henry, Pacheco takes a back seat, which, hey, if you can get Derrick Henry, I'm down. But a Derrick Henry-McKinnon 1-2 combo where McKinnon's your ball carrier, or Henry's your ball carrier and McKinnon's your receiving back, that'd be fun. I don't think the Chiefs will be the team that signs him. I think he'll either re-sign in Tennessee or another team that just needs a spark on offense will sign him. But could you imagine? I mean, you add Derrick Henry to this offense, watch out. Chiefs skills with Buffalo and Cincinnati struggling yesterday in their respective games on Sunday, he means. Is that a positive take for the Chiefs going forward? You know, I think Buffalo is more of a team trending in a direction that isn't great for them than Cincinnati. Listen, Cincinnati had to play their hated rivals, Baltimore, 2 weeks in a row. Those games are physical, AFC North. I don't put as much stock in that one as I do Buffalo. Buffalo was going up, and I get Cincinnati went up against a backup quarterback as well, but Tyler Huntley's played a lot the last couple of years. Buffalo was going up against Skylar Thompson, a rookie 7th-round pick. You're playing Miami at home. Their whole offensive line is pretty much hurt. And Josh Allen's throwing picks left and right. He fumbled. I think Buffalo the last few weeks, and I know they've had a lot going on, but even before the DeMar Hamlin situation, yes, they were winning, but they were kind of like not completely clicking. Like, I don't know. Buffalo hasn't been playing perfect. I'll just put it that way. So I don't put too much stock in how you win in the playoffs. All you got to do is win. Just win, baby, to steal a line from Raider Nation. Yeah, I don't know how much that carries over Chiefs skills. I'm curious to see how that game plays out in Orchard Park this weekend. Now, what is your favorite Chiefs jersey that you own? And if you don't own a Chiefs jersey, which one would you want to own? I'm sure a lot of you guys would say Patrick Mahomes, but maybe you want to throw it back. Jamal Charles, Priest Holmes, Derek Thomas, Derek Johnson, Larry Johnson, Trent Green. Anyone else? Let me know. What's your favorite jersey that you own for the Kansas City Chiefs, or what jersey would you want to get if you could get one? From Angelo Gurley, the Chiefs are going to be explosive until the end of the postseason because I check high rating from the video game Madden 2023 with the 91 potential. Hey, listen, if it says it on Madden, it must be true. It's got to be true. From Corrupt C3, should we focus on the defense a lot this I think you mean this offseason. Probably, but the offense is still going to have some questions. Like right tackle, is it Lucas Niang next year? Andrew Wiley for another year? Darren Kennard was inactive most of the season. I don't think he's the answer. You could potentially need a receiver with Juju and Hardman as free agents. So, yeah, I would say the defense will be more of a focus, but the offense will still have a piece or two that it needs. From JA, why can't we beat Cincinnati? I mean, they can, but the reason they haven't is I just don't think they've played as sharp in those games. Like the first game last year in the regular season, defense just got torched. That's when Jamar Chase went for, 230 or whatever. Travarius Ward got cooked in that game, so that was a problem. Playoff game last year just choked. I mean, let's just call it what it is. You're up 21-3. Cincinnati scores late in the first half, and you are about to score late in the half. You had a 3 in your back pocket, and Mahomes throws the ball in bounds to Tyreek Hill, who gets tackled. You don't get any points. You're up 21-10, and I don't think they handled that well at halftime, and they lost that game in overtime. They choked. And then the game this year, back and forth game. Was it in? I think it was in Cincinnati. You fell just short. So the answer is they can beat them, but why haven't they? I think they have. I think the Bengals have won the big moments more often. Third downs, turnovers, little things. The small details win the big games. Joel Bennett, draft Marvin Mims and safety Jordan Battle. So Mims out of Oklahoma, Battle out of Alabama. Sure, I mean, I would be interested in both of those players. Neither is a first-round pick, maybe more like a third, fourth. But, yeah, I like both those guys. Oliver Heenan, will Mahomes win MVP? How confident are you? Scale of 1 to 10. 9.4, because I think the voting's already done, and he got 49 of 50 AP All-Pro votes, and most of those voters vote for MVP as well. So 9.4 might be putting it low. It's probably more like 9.8. I'd be shocked if he didn't get the most votes to win MVP. I expect him to get it. From Ryan, how about drafting Isaiah Faskey from Notre Dame? Need to look into him more. What's that? 23 tackles, 11 sacks, of an edge rusher. Yeah, I mean, listen, you can you need more pass rush helps. Although this pass rush has gotten better. What's his size, Trace? 6'5", 265, so that's a big 4'3" edge guy that Spags likes. If Spags is back, he would fit the bill for that. So, yeah, sure. I think that defensive line is got a lot of questions. Do you get Chris Jones an extension? He's under contract for, I think, one more year, but he's eligible for an extension. Do you restructure and keep Frank Clark? Do you cut him? How big of a role does Carl Loftus have next year? Do you bring back Carlos Dunlap, who's been a solid rotation guy? You got Mike Dana for another year. But, yeah, I think drafting another edge rusher could make a lot of sense to pair with Carl Loftus. Be sure you guys follow me on social media. We couldn't get to every question, but got to as many as we can. It's at HGramNFL on Twitter and Instagram. If you have any more questions, hit me up over there at HGramNFL on Twitter and on Instagram if you want more of your Chiefs questions answered. All right, guys, we're going to end the stream momentarily. No loop, Trace. What is your favorite Chiefs jersey that you guys own or that you would like to own? Sheldon said Christian Okoye, Art Still from Rick Green. Let's see. Justin Houston from Robert Blunt, Elvis Scarback, Okoye, Tyrann Mathieu. Love my Pacheco jersey. Nice. Let's see. Why does someone keep saying draft Tom Brady? You mean sign him in free agency? I don't want Tom Brady. He's a million years old. Corrupt says 15. Scotty says 15 as well. So there you go. All right, guys, this has been fun. We'll be live again on Saturday, 4:30 Eastern, 3:30 Central Time. Is the game. We'll actually be live an hour earlier, 2:30 Central, for a pregame show. That should be fun. Shout out Trizzy Trace for hanging out as he was back on the production duties today. I am Harrison Graham signing off. We'll see you soon here on the Chiefs Report.